All right, good evening, everybody. Oh, you were waiting for me there, huh? It's not that cold. Okay. Good evening. Welcome to DuePoint. Welcome to everyone who's tuned into our live broadcast around the country. My name is Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint. I'm going to be spending the next 45 minutes to 50 minutes or so going through our business, what the opportunity is all about. And then after the presentation, you're welcome to come speak to me, ask me any questions that you might have. Okay, so let's begin. As you can see, we're a division of another company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. Constantia is a registered insurance company in South Africa. We were founded in 1952, so we've been around for certainly a number of years. Constantia doesn't share offices with us, but they're just down the road here in Randburg. The financial services provider license number that we operate under is that one that you see over there. That's very important. That's our stamp of credibility. If you go to our website or if you step outside into the foyer, you'll see all these certificates up on the wall. Those are our Financial Services Board licenses. So we've got a long and short-term insurance license. We've got an investment license. We've got our FSP license. And we've also put up our accreditation with the direct marketing and the direct selling associations. It is important that you trust the business we're going to be speaking about this evening. Because if you don't make that first step, then it's pointless in me making any proposition to you this evening. So go do a background check on us if you have to. We listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange under a group called Conduit Capital. You can go Google the people involved in this business. Do what you need to do, but credibility and trust are certainly one of the fundamentals in any collaboration going forward. The executives and the managers up on screen, starting with the first three characters, they are registered chartered accountants. We are financial services after all, so we've got lots of accountants. Starting with Mr. Brendan Benfield on the far left there, he heads up this division. He's our senior executive. He's got a lot of experience in financial services, particularly in insurance, because that's pretty much all he's known from a business point of view since the day he was born. His father is a professor of insurance. His father started Clientele Life. His father founded the IFA. They've started businesses in South Africa, in Europe. They've assisted starting businesses in Australia. They've had a lot of success in this space. So we're very lucky to have Brendan heading up this division. He's got some wonderful financial pedigree in him. Then Tim and Stacey, they look after the auditing, the accounting, some of the financial requirements in our business, also fairly important. And then myself and Jane, we're the two non-accountants. Jane is very experienced in network marketing or referral marketing, and that's pretty important to a business like ours, because even though we're an insurance company, our growth in South Africa's market is dependent on our ability to work in the network marketing space. And so Jane brings us international experience with her to our team. And then myself, I've been working in advertising pretty much all my career, so almost 25 years now. I ran my own digital agency for about 15 of those years. And the mandate of staff here, so we've got client service staff and some other admin staff, but the mandate, the focus of the staff here at DuePoint is to support everybody that joins us here at DuePoint. We want to see you effective, we want to see you profitable, and we want to see you successful and ultimately wealthy. As a business, we can only be successful if the people that we're collaborating on and depending on are being effective. And so everything that we do here at DuePoint is geared to support you in this endeavor, this new endeavor that you might be embarking on. So know that you are never alone in this business. There is always support waiting for you. You just have to push into that support. So that's a bit of background on us and the business. Like I said, you're welcome to go do further checks. There's more information on the website about us. Very quickly, we discuss the circumstance that we find ourselves in, because the circumstances led us to looking for something extra, right? If the economy, if your job, if the industry that your company is in was the answer to the problems that we have, you wouldn't be here this evening, right? You'd be at home. But we're quite warm in this office, so maybe your home's colder than here. Maybe it's warmer to be here than in the office, and we've got the free tea and coffee. But this has led us to watching a presentation about business opportunity because of those circumstances. And we can go on and on about the economy and people in debt cycles, the statistics that we get from the Financial Services Board that paint a picture of what retirement looks like for the majority of South Africans. It is all a bleak picture. This is a very negative slide that we get to discuss. But I trust everyone here is looking for that extra opportunity, looking for something extra, and is willing to do the work for it. And that is what this business encompasses. It is that exact opportunity. Constantia as a business 2 years ago, or more than 2 years ago, about 3 years ago, saw the opportunity to create a division that creates that opportunity for the average South African. And we launched it in February 2016. We called it the DuePoint system. Within this division, and it is basically the opportunity to change your circumstance. That's something extra that you get to create, that additional paycheck, right? But we've got ambitions, we've got expectations, aspirations beyond just creating income for people. So very quickly, I'm going to go over the aspirations that we have, and you might not have even thought of this, and some people might not even align themselves with those aspirations, but I think they're fairly important because it's something that drives us as a business beyond just creating extra income, and that is for people to aspire to getting rid of their debt as quickly as possible. If you start making extra money, are you just going to spend more every month? Or are you going to become focused on wealth? And the first step of focusing on wealth is getting rid of your debt. Right? You don't have to take 20 years to pay off a bond. You can get rid of it as quickly as possible. We want people to aspire to that. Because if you truly want to be wealthy, you can't owe other people money. Right? And so get rid of the debt as quickly as possible, and then we get to start focusing on wealth. We do that through the ownership of assets, investments that we own that hopefully appreciate. And ultimately, the third aspiration, the ultimate aspiration, and that's actually why you're here, is just to be happier. Right? And we're hoping that there's something extra will make us happier. Money, fortunately, solves a lot of problems in life, right? And so those are the aspirations we have for people in this business. How does this business work? Our guest this evening, you have the opportunity to join this division, this business called DuePoint. And when you join this business, you enter into a contract with us. We refer to you as wealth engineers from that point, because that's really what we do here. We focus on engineering our wealth. And as wealth engineers, you've only got a single task to do. Only one thing that you have to focus on, and that is to build what we call channels of distribution. Right? And I'll show you what a channel of distribution looks like. But it's basically you going out and connecting more people to DuePoint. That's your only focus. That's the only thing you need to worry about. And if you're successful in that process and you're able to connect people to this business that eventually take out one of our products, which our online platform facilitates, and you're successful in that process, the benefit waiting for you is additional income. Right? But the nature of the income that we produce here is what we call recurring income. Now, I haven't spoken about it for a long time, but I love my father's description of recurring income. Some people describe it as passive income. So you'll hear a lot of entrepreneurs and other people in similar industries like this. They'll talk about the ability to create passive income. But my father laid it down in layman's terms. He said it's the ability to make money while you're sleeping. Right? And he explained this concept to me when I was very young. I think I just got into high school. I didn't have a clue what he was talking about. I still remember to this day, I didn't know what he was talking about. I actually started thinking about, no, he's talking about becoming a stockbroker, making money in investments and equities and that type of thing. That's what I thought for a long time. But having run a business for, the best years of my life, 15 years, from the age of 23, I began to appreciate what he was talking about. He's a gold miner, and he doesn't get, his business doesn't really get to create passive income or recurring income. Insurance companies, it's actually inherent to insurance companies. We create recurring income just by the nature of the business we're in. So the difference is if you're a gold miner or you own a little business or you're an employee, what you're doing is you're creating active income. You have to work for every cent that you make. All right? If you're involved in recurring income, the creation of recurring income, what happens is you're able to actually leverage the effort that you put in. In this business, you can put effort into building your channel of distribution in the month of June 2018 that won't only pay you this month, but potentially in a year's time, in 3 years' time, for the business you did in June 2018, in 5 years' time, even in 10 years' time. You are building an asset here that actually pays out recurring income. It is an extremely powerful benefit. You also get to harness the power of duplication. Another, probably the second most important benefit on the screen. What we've done with our system is allowed you to leverage yourself. Leverage yourself is almost like being able to duplicate yourself. If you can go out and find 10 other people to help you in this business, you've just leveraged yourself 10 times. Because if those same people are putting in the same amount of time that you're putting into DuePoint every week, you now have 10 times the amount of time being invested into your business, which will in turn increase your recurring income tenfold, right? Two very powerful benefits. Our business is flexi time. You get to decide when you want to do the business. We have invested in technology that allows you to do this business anywhere in South Africa at any time of the day. Literally. You can be in a tiny town somewhere in Northern Cape, and it can be 3 a.m. in the morning. You can build this business, right? You get to decide what that looks like. Is it every Tuesday night? Is it lunchtimes during the week? Is it Saturdays? Is it Sundays? You've got to decide what that work looks like. If you're interested in doing this business and changing your life, you've got to decide what it is that you need to do to invest time in this business. Our business requires no startup capital. We don't ask you to buy boxes of product to get started with. We don't have starter kits. We don't have registration fees. We have kept this business as risk-free as possible so that it becomes as accessible to the average South African as possible. At the same time, we don't care about the qualifications or experience. Right? This is one of my favorite benefits because I get the most pleasure in this business seeing someone who in the traditional system has been discriminated against because they didn't finish school, or they don't have work experience, or they don't have a degree, coming into this business and shooting the lights out. I get lots of pleasure seeing people do that, right? That is equal opportunity for everybody. You get to build an asset. Now, this is notable because the asset that you're building here, you've got legal tender over this channel of distribution that you're building. It means that you own your channel of distribution. It is registered in your name and it's treated as an asset. So what's so important about that? What's important about it is that unlike your job that pays you every single month, that's going to retire you at the age of 60 or 65, this business won't. If you carry on doing this business, we're never going to retire you. If you're earning a recurring income, that recurring income will keep paying out through your 50s, through your 60s, through your 70s, through your 80s. How long are you going to live? Through your 90s? Must I keep going? Yes. Through your hundreds, yes. Right? The business will keep paying out once you die. Because an asset doesn't disappear into thin air. You can seed this to your beneficiaries in your will. Who would like to pass wealth on to their kids, onto the next generation? Guess what statistically happens in South Africa? Majority of us pass debt onto the next generation. Debt doesn't disappear either, right? The bank just starts phoning a different person in the family. You create legacy through this product. So I'm hoping that people will be happy to invest time into something that they know they have ownership over, right? There's no selling involved in our business, so this might confuse a couple of people who are here for the first time. You don't have to speak about our products. You're not going to be selling our products. You don't have to know much about our products. All you're going to be doing is connecting people to DuePoint. When I say connecting, it is your job to go out and tell people that this opportunity exists and get them in front of an intro presentation. That's all you have to do in this business. I will do the work of explaining the business to them, the products, the opportunity, right? Myself and Brendan, we do it 7 times a week, live, broadcast through the entire country. So work out quickly how many presentations I've given in the last 2.5 years. And it's the same one, by the way. Right? That's all you need to do. Just connect people to the business opportunity. You don't have to worry about our products. And our products are great because they are financial. It means that we have systems that take care of all the distribution of our products. The debiting, the collection, all of that happens automatically. Right? You think about tangible products. Imagine we were doing tangible products here at DuePoint, and I had to convince each of you to buy 5,000 rands worth of milkshakes. And now you're thinking, how the hell am I going to fit it in my boot? Right? And it's got a 3-month expiry date on it. Right? We don't have those issues with those products, and so we've made the products are as convenient as possible. But your success here at DuePoint is dependent on your ability to go out and build a channel of distribution. It begins with you. You become a wealth engineer. You take out one of our products, and you are going to start connecting people. Some people will say no. Some people will say yes, right? And when you are successful in that process, when you can connect people who come and watch an intro and they decide they want to become wealth engineers, they also take one of our products, that is the beginning of your channel of distribution. And from that point, whether you like it or not, your channel to a certain degree is going to take on a life of its own, because the people that you connected are going to go out and do exactly the same thing you've done. Remember the power of duplication, the leverage, right? And this is what your channel could look like after some time. We've got thousands of examples of people that started in the business and their channels have exploded. We've got people that left the business 2 years ago. They were in the business for 3-4 months. And to amuse ourselves, we go look at their channels because they're not earning anything, but unbeknown to them. I mean, we've got one lady whose channel's sitting at over 7,000 people in her business. She is completely and blissfully unaware of it, right? And that is the power of duplication. But what you have to do, now this is a lesson or a tip, what you have to do is be discerning in that moment. That moment you go out and decide who you're connecting to the business, you have to decide, am I bringing the right people into the business or the wrong people? The right people are people that you believe will thrive as wealth engineers in the business. The wrong people are people that become a burden to you in your own business, right? Be discerning in that moment, because that behavior will filter into the rest of your channel. If you bring desperate, low-quality people with no resources in the business at the beginning, you're going to have a business that collapses every other month. If you bring strong people in at the beginning, that filters into the rest of the channel. You'll build a strong, sustainable business, one that you can depend on in decades to come. So that's what a channel of distribution looks like. You'll be warned. So we warn everyone that comes to listen to our presentation, and I wonder if this is going to surprise anyone. We're not a get-rich-quick scheme. Does that shock anyone? Who's here to get rich quickly? Everyone's too scared to put their hand up now. They're like, is he saying we need to get rich slowly? Right? Everyone wants to get rich quickly. But what's become synonymous with that term is illegal pyramid schemes. Right? We are not one of those businesses. I hope at the beginning of the presentation, I allayed that fear completely. We're a 70-year-old insurance company. You don't get more regulated and boring than that, right? I hope this is a business that you have trust in. At the same time, Brendan and myself will never profess that anyone can find success in DuePoint, actually in any aspect of life, overnight. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Anything worth earning requires blood, sweat, and tears. Anything. Try think about anything. If you can get anything easily, it's not worth it. I was thinking the other night about it. I said, anything that's quick and easy. I don't want to say too many brand names. McDonald's. You compare McDonald's to maybe a dinner across the road here at one of these steakhouses, right? There it takes an hour to prepare your dinner. McDonald's drive-through takes 3 minutes to prepare your dinner. Which is better, right? You get certain watches. You get a watch for R5 that gets manufactured in about 5 seconds. And you get a watch that costs, I saw a watch the other day online for R2 million. It takes them nearly a year to make the watch. We mustn't romanticize the notion of entrepreneurship. It is easy to look at a successful entrepreneur and dream and wonder and assume that they achieved everything they achieved easily. They were lucky, or they knew somebody, or they were in the right place at the right time. It doesn't exist. If you scratch a little deeper, you will see that any successful entrepreneur has worked their butts off, right? And this opportunity is no different. If you want it, if you want what we're going to tell you is on offer here at DuePoint, it requires that work. There is no shortcut, unfortunately. So that's our warning slide. Let's talk about our products. So we've got 3 financial products here at DuePoint. You are free to consider any product. You can take out 1 product, 2 products, or all 3 products. They've been designed to benefit us from a financial point of view, right? So they all have financial benefit. The first product is called Access Wealth. It is our investment product. It's going to cost you 324 Rand every month, of which 100 Rand will be invested into a Sanlam tax-free investment fund in your name, right? There's no notice required on that investment. That means you can draw out the investment at any stage. On top of that, we give you 120,000 Rands worth of personal accident cover. So if you have this investment in place, and for example, you are killed in a car accident, we'll pay out your beneficiaries 120,000 Rand. So this is our investment product. Product number 1, 324 Rand a month. Product number 2 is called Wealth Guard. Wealth Guard is strictly insurance. It is only insurance. It's 249 Rand every month, but this time you get 1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. Now note, this is not funeral cover. Don't confuse it with life insurance. It is not those things. This product only covers you in the event of death through accident, i.e. it doesn't pay out in the event of dying through natural causes or illness. Now you might be thinking, well, that's not great. But the beauty of this product, right, and the uniqueness of this product is that it's actually accessible to everybody over the age of 18. I can offer this product to anyone over the age of 18. You can be 70, be diabetic, and have cancer, and you'll still only pay 249 Rand and get the full amount of cover available. The other products discriminate typically from a health risk point of view. If you say I'm 70 and you try to get life insurance, that's not going to happen, right? The premium will be through the roof. So this product becomes accessible to everybody. That's the beauty of Wealth Guard. And the third product is called Wealth Points. Wealth Points aims to save you money on your cost of living. It aims to reduce your cost of living costs. So what we've done is for 299 Rand a month, you get to enjoy the discounts that we've negotiated with the list of partners that you see there. And the list of partners we got pretty much covers most aspects of your cost of living every month. So we've got groceries there with ShopRite, Checkers, and Takealot and Hershey's. We've got all these online retailers. The entertainer covers hotels and traveling and restaurants. We've got always on Wi-Fi data because everyone uses data. We've got car manufacturers. We've got gym. We've got health. We've got beauty spas. We've tried to cover everything, and we are always adding new partners to this business. So for example, always on Wi-Fi data, if you go buy from them, typically 1 gig of data is going to cost you 100 Rand. But through Wealth Points, you only pay 37 Rand. Right? So the discounts vary with all of them. You can find more details on our website. But if you're looking for immediate benefit, Wealth Points is probably the product to take. So those are the 3 products. If you have any questions about the products, come speak to me. But they are designed to be fairly straightforward. What separates us from other financial services providers? It is our business model. We often get asked the question, how does DuePoint afford? And you'll see now what's on offer when we start talking about the money and the rewards. How does DuePoint afford to pay wealth engineers what we pay wealth engineers? It is because of our business model. Traditional insurance companies spend a fortune on marketing and advertising, right? So like Brendan's business down the road, Prime Meridian Direct. Every day they are spending hundreds of thousands of rands on advertising. That money is going to media companies, SABC, DSTV, to the newspapers, to the billboard companies. At DuePoint, we don't do any marketing or advertising. You won't see a DuePoint logo outside of this building. Why? It's so that we can take that portion of our budget and attribute it to our rewards and returns program, which we pay to our wealth engineers for the work you guys do in connecting other people to DuePoint. So we don't have to spend the billions on advertising that typical insurance companies do every single year. We can pay you in terms of our returns and rewards program. Right? So those are the 2 main benefits, the main ways to benefit out of the DuePoint system. So let's talk about that. The returns program is the recurring income that you're going to generate for yourself every single month. We pay a base return fee of 27.50 Rand for every product you have in your channel. Remember the slide with all the dots on? Right, your channel after a couple of years with hundreds, if not thousands of people in it, you can potentially be paid for every single dot on that screen, right? But it's dependent on where the product lies. So if you look at the table, those first 5 people that you introduce to DuePoint, that product lies on what we call your first point, because relative to you, it's 1 point away from you. And then as your channel starts to grow again, onto your second point, that we call your second point. And on your first and second point, we pay you double the 27.50 Rand. So you're earning 55 Rand for every single product. And remember, it's recurring income. It's not once-off income. It's recurring income. So you're earning that every single month with those product payments. And as your channel starts to grow to the 3rd, 4th point, all the way down to the 8th point, you see the multiplier drop steadily to 4%. So by the 8th point, you're earning 1.10 Rand for every product every single month. But we don't limit you there because there's absolutely no limitation on the size of your channel. From point 8 onwards, in theory, to infinity, you'll keep earning that 4% of the 27.50 Rand. We do not limit you on how much money you can earn at DuePoint. It's all about time and numbers and whether you're making every day an opportunity, right? The onus falls squarely on your shoulders. So that's the mechanics of the returns. The next question is, typically, when can I become a millionaire at DuePoint? Is that on everyone's mind? Are you wondering, when am I going to become a millionaire? right? So what we did was we built a projection. It shows you a projection of what your income could be. It is based on a premise or a growth formula that we call 3 plus 2. It assumes in your first month as a brand new wealth engineer, you can bring 3 people into your business in the first month. Right, so 3 successful connections, and then every consecutive month thereafter going forward, you only have to bring in 2 people. That's why we call it 3 plus 2. So it's 3 plus 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 every month. And if you can follow that growth formula into perpetuity, these are the numbers that you can expect, the amount that you could be earning every single month. After 6 months, you could be earning about 2,500 Rand a month. Who's happy with 2,500 Rand a month after 6 months of work? No? You're thinking, I should have gone to that get-rich-quick scheme presentation instead of this get-rich-slow scheme presentation, right? But there's a lesson in this, and this is something that I've seen in the 2 years that I've been involved in this business. I've seen it in myself, because I look at money. I can look at the 2,500 Rand and go, that's not a lot of money. That was my first reaction. When the accountants came over the projection, I said, people aren't going to get excited. I'm involved in advertising. They're not going to get excited over 2,500 Rand after 6 months of work. My wife's a lawyer. They bill that in half an hour, right? But the lesson that I learned is that I need to stop giving money face value, spending value. That's how consumers think. And that's why we're in the trouble that we're in today, because we think constantly like consumers. I joke with the audience. I say, imagine tonight was your lucky evening and I put 2,500 Rand under everyone's chair tonight. Tonight you're going home with 2,500 Rand. Don't even have to sign up. How long will that 2,500 Rand last? Realistically. Think about it. You've got 2,500 Rand in your purse or your wallet. How long is it going to last? Who's going to invest it? No one, right? Nobody. But that's the power of creating wealth. If you give 2,500 Rand to someone who's focused on investment and leveraging money, which is what investment is, they're not going to spend the money. They're going to decide, how do I leverage that money to make even more? And it's easy, especially if you have debt. If you've got debt and you decide to pay it off faster, it is the same as investing, right? The benefit is exactly the same. Here we got an example of someone with a 1 million Rand bond. They owe the bank 1 million Rand on property that they financed. And if you're like everyone in the country, you've taken out a 20-year bond, you've agreed to pay whatever the prime rate is, plus whatever that they've decided on based on your credit history and your age and your salary. So let's call it prime plus 2. On 1 million Rand, you're paying about 11,500 Rand a month for the next 20 years. You're going to pay that house off. I'm 40. I'm going to finish paying that house off when I'm 60. I'm only going to become a homeowner when I'm 60 years old. 20 years of paying 11,500 Rand. But I joined DuePoint, and 6 months later with some success, I'm earning 2,500 Rand, and I listen to Rob, and I take the money and I pay my debt off faster. I put that little 2,500 Rand as an additional payment into my debt. You know what the net result is? Instead of taking 20 years to pay that house off, I'll pay it off in 11 and a half years. 11 and a half years. I only put in 20% extra into my bond. I've nearly reduced my bond term by 50%. It saves me. So this exercise will save you nearly 1 million Rand in interest. That's hard, cold currency. That's not theoretical money. That is 1 million Rand that you would have been paying back to the bank. That's in 6 months. At 12 months, you're earning nearly 9,000 Rand a month. That's in excess of 100,000 Rand in recurring income annually. Who would love a 100,000 Rand check every Christmas? Not one Christmas, every Christmas going forward. Think about that. Think about the Christmas presents for the kids, the holiday that you get to take, right? When everyone's suffering in January and you smiling. 12 months, 3 plus 2, remember? At 24 months, you had nearly 30,000 Rand a month. The number's only going to get bigger. Tell me when the number starts to scare you. At 36 months, you had nearly 50,000 Rand a month. Keep going. At 48 months, you've increased it up to nearly 70,000 Rand a month. And 5 years from today, if you don't have a 5-year plan, I can print this out for you. You can have my 5-year plan. Nearly 90,000 Rand a month. It's about 1 million Rand in annual recurring income. Imagine taking home 1 million Rand check every Christmas. I'll let you think about it a little more. Think about it a little harder. Who actually believes that that's possible? I'm always interested in people's belief systems. Who actually believes it? Who doesn't believe it? Who's thinking, now this oak's starting to talk like a get-rich-quick scheme presenter? Right? You have to dream it before you can aim for it. But it's only theoretical. It's a projection built in Excel by an actuary. Right? You can argue with me, it's academic. It is only academic. But we've got wealth engineers in this business that are doing, some are doing less than 3 plus 2. Some are doing 3 plus 2. Some are doing more than 3 plus 2. Guess who decides what they're doing every month? Not me. You're not going to get a morning wake-up call from me in the morning and go, good morning. How much time are you spending on DuePoint today? Guys, you have to decide that for yourselves. We've got wealth engineers that have traveled this road with us, and we invite them up onto stage every single month to share their stories. Because they are powerful stories. The credibility in someone else's testimony is way more than me telling you what the business can do for you. Here we've got Lynette Badenhorst. She's a pensioner. She doesn't have a plan B. Vanderbale Park, right? My namesake, my uncle's town. The value of a channel sitting at 16,000 Rand a month. She's only introduced 19 people on her first point. That's the work she's done. She's brought 19 people in. The size of her channel in the last 2 years is sitting at over 2,000 products in her channel. She's already earned in excess of 100,000 Rand from DuePoint. Here we've got Siyabonga. He's from, I think, Maradeni in KZN. He's been in our business for 15 months. The value of his channel is sitting at nearly 10,000 Rand a month. He's already earned close to 90,000 Rand. He's brought in 36 people on his first point. And in 15 months, his channel's grown to 307 products. Then we got Patrick and Pumi. They joined the week we launched our business, so not quite on the day, but that same week they joined our business. The value of their channel averaged out over 27 months is sitting at 32,000 a month on average. They started at 0. In their first month, they earned, I think, 600 Rand, right? 660 Rand. In April alone, we want to talk about the power duplication. In April alone, so that's 30 days of April, 708 people joined their business. Wild. Their average growth is sitting at 406 a month. You want to look at the work they've done. If you want to look at anyone's work that they've personally done, you look at the first pointers. That's the amount of people that are personally connected to DuePoint. They're sitting on 234 people. We talk about 3 plus 2, they're doing 10 plus 10. We've got thousands of people joining this business. Every single month, everyone is running a different race. You decide what race you want to run. What we put on the table here is for everybody. You've got to decide what you want to take off the table, right? You decide to set that goal. So the decision is not whether you want, everybody wants. Everybody wants. My 10-month-old wants, my daughter wants, my wife wants, I want, right? It comes down to how important is it to you? How badly do you want it? And are you willing to commit that time? Because this is not a New Year's resolution. We're not talking about a hobby. We're not starting a gym contract here. We are talking about a business that can change your life. And it has. It's changed people's lives in the space of 2 years already. You've got to decide what you want out of the business. That's the decision for me. It's not about whether you want to be a millionaire after 5 years. Joining is very straightforward. You simply jump onto our website or onto the mobile app. 7 minutes later, you're a wealth engineer. In the 8th minute, you can start connecting people to this business and start building this asset that you own. Read our code of conduct. That's fairly important because that's our contract with you. Complete the online training. There is a wealth of knowledge available for you. We've got over 500 videos on YouTube. Right? You can drown yourself in all the knowledge. Don't make the mistakes everyone else made. Set goals for yourself. Do not underestimate the power of setting a goal because it is the only way you can gain direction. You can't say, I've got a plan and not have a goal. Fantasizing at night about what you want before you fall asleep is not a goal. If you want a real hard goal, you draw a line in the sand. You open up your diary or Outlook or Gmail calendar or whatever it is, you put in a date and you say, this is where I want to be in 6 months or 12 months or 3 years or 5 years. Keep yourself accountable to those goals because it's the only way you develop a proper plan. And then the simple task of speaking to people. Like one of the wealth engineers said, we use his quote often, Don Landon, very experienced network marketer, says, if you're not talking to somebody every day in this business, you're dead. Don't fool yourself. DuePoint has made a beautiful business. It is simple. You only have to connect people, but if you're not speaking to people, you're not doing the business, right? It's as simple as that. We've got merchandise for you, not a profit center for us. These are tools to empower your channel building. Please consider getting business cards. For me, the most important thing on the screen are those business cards. Order them from head office. We can send them anywhere in the country. You get 500 beautifully designed, personalized cards that you're going to use in business. Business, if you've never been in sales or marketing, is all about trust and credibility. That's all it is. Business cards is part of that picture. You put a business card down, people go, right, this person believes in DuePoint, they represent DuePoint, they are ambassadors for DuePoint, I can take what they say seriously, right? Get the business cards. Please consider getting the business cards. Join our Facebook page. We're producing content daily on Facebook. If you want to keep abreast of exactly what's happening with the heartbeat of DuePoint, get onto our Facebook page, like our page, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It'll tell you every time the live broadcast goes live, every time we load up a video. Download our mobile app onto your smartphone, Google, Android devices and Apple devices. The app tells you what's happening in real time in your business, right? So you know exactly what's going on. Make sure you do those three things. The moment you become a wealth engineer, do those three things. Onto our rewards program. So the rewards program at DuePoint is the cherry on top. We've spoken about the money and creating recurring income. There's something extra. The XP Rewards program. When you start out as a wealth engineer in this business, you will start earning something that we call XP. Right? It stands for experience points. It is an indicator to us of how active you are as wealth engineers. Because every time you come to a presentation or do one at home, if you have guests, if you log into your mobile app, there are plenty of things that earn you XP. And as you start earning XP, we reward you with the success that you have at DuePoint. So if you start out this evening, you'll start out as a rank 0 wealth engineer. To get to rank 1, you need 1,000 XP. You can do that in 2 minutes, right? If you don't know how, come ask me. And you need 4 products in your qualified channel. You meet those 2 criteria, bang, you become a rank 1 wealth engineer in the rewards program, and you get a once-off 55 Rand at the end of that month as a reward. Once off, not recurring, once off. You can go buy a cupcake, celebrate early success at DuePoint, right? I'm being facetious, but what you've just proven to yourself by getting to rank 1 is that you can get to any rank. You can get to any level at DuePoint. Because the people at rank 20 are doing the same thing every day that the people at rank 1 are doing. Right? Nothing changes. And as you start collecting more XP and your channel starts to grow, you get rewarded with that growth and success. There are 20,000 Rand checks waiting for you, 50,000 Rand checks. They get bigger with every rank. At rank 5, we give you USB sticks that's got all our video, our intro presentations on. This little device plugs into anything so that you can show people the DuePoint intro presentation regardless of where you are. At rank 7, we spend 12,500 Rand on premium business cards. You can't even call them premium. Premium's not the word. These are the Louis Vuitton business cards, right? Who spends 12,500 Rand on one set of business cards? That's our cost, right? Why? Goes back to my point about business cards. This business is about trust and credibility. When you go up to someone who's never heard of DuePoint before and you put a 12,500 Rand business card on the table, I promise you they are going to listen to what you have to say. Because your business card is 50 times more expensive than the CEO of Anglo American's business card. Right? You see how it's going to help you? At rank 9, we take you and your family to our Rank 9 International Conference. Not once, every year. This is our first recurring reward. This happens every single year. Once you're Rank 9, you will enjoy this every single year. Business class flights to a 5-star luxury resort for 7 days, all expenses paid trip every single year. So take a look, because we've documented our last trip. I want you to imagine your toes in the sand, because it's going to motivate you to do this business when it's cold in winter. Right? Too many people get lazy in winter. We're going to work in winter.
And all of your wind has gone, and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sound where no one can see. You stand, don't let the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase.
So the next trip is, 6 months away, 5 months away? One of our wealth engineers went from 0 to rank 9 in the space of 5 months. Records are made to be broken. Average wealth engineers that are working consistently, maybe 2-3 years to get to rank 9. But this happens every single year for the rest of your life. Your children will grow up not knowing what economy class feels like. That is amazing, right? They'll say, Mommy, who are the poor people walking past squashing in the back of the plane? What are they doing? You'll have to explain to them that they're not wealth engineers. At rank 11, we spent R250,000 on a brand new car, bought and paid in your name. No DuePoint stickers, no T's and C's. If you start underperforming, you've got to give it back. You can quit DuePoint the next day. No one's taking the car back. So this is rank 11. Our program goes up to rank 28. What happens at rank 28? A house? Helicopter? Maybe. You never know. My point is we've mapped out what we think is the next 30, 35 years at DuePoint for wealth engineers. Right? We have certainly longevity and sustainability in mind for this business. We want this business to have impact in South Africa's society. Teamworks meetings that we do every Saturday. So this is just a reminder. After the intro presentation on Saturday at 11:30, we will be doing a Teamworks meeting. What is a Teamworks meeting? It is a fundamentals class on being a wealth engineer. If you are a brand new wealth engineer or you someone that hasn't been connected or plugged into DuePoint, you want to be at a Teamworks meeting. Anyone that you connect to the business, you want to make sure they get to a Teamworks meeting, because we go over what the most important thing is you should be focusing on at DuePoint. Right? It is a very important presentation to come to. Make sure that any new people come to it, and if you don't even know what a qualified wealth engineer is, you need to be in this meeting. Right? We go over all the information that you need to get started in this business. Okay, so that happens every Saturday after the intro from 11:30 till 12:15. So my question to you is this evening, are you willing to run onto this pitch and play this game, DuePoint? Or are you going to sit on the sidelines and watch? I invite you to make 2018 a year that stands apart from every other year that has preceded it. How quickly does time start to fly past? You think about 5 years ago. You were probably earning more in comparison to what the cost of living was 5 years ago than you are today. So I invite you, come join us at DuePoint. You have all the support in the world. We are here to collaborate with you. We want to see you successful. How many of us have got bosses that want to see us successful in life? Right? Really? How many? Well, like maybe 1%. Right? My wife had a boss. Unfortunately, he's moved to clicks. That was the only person that actually had her interests at heart. Generally, in employment, we don't have that. Join us. It's not only hard work. I promise you, we have fun, we collaborate, we're all moving in the same direction, and there is wonderful energy in this business. I invite you to come join us at DuePoint. If you have any questions, come speak to me. I hope that you have every day is an opportunity, but I hope that you have a 2018 where at the end of the year, you can get onto Facebook and say, wow, 2018 was awesome. Because what are your friends going to be doing on Facebook? 2018 was terrible. Moan, 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 right? No more license to moan, license to work. Thank you, guys. Come speak to me if you love. Ciao.